Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock and it's time for a review show special. Now this is where I take a deep dive into a particular product, a particular trick, a particular company, and I go through with a fine-tooth comb everything that trick does and what makes it tick. And today I'm going to be looking at one of my own products. Today I'm going to be looking at Trivia. By myself, that's only just come out through Alakazam Magic. Now, it got released on Tuesday. I did a live launch with Alakazam, and thank you for everybody that came along to the live launch and picked it up. I really appreciate it. It's something that I'm very proud of. We filmed this months ago. I think we filmed this at around about the same time that we filmed the Mirage coin set. So we filmed this absolutely ages ago. It's only just getting to a point where it's actually coming out now. But, it's already been very well received. And one of the reasons that I'm doing this review show is because I've had so many people ask me, they want to know a whole bunch of questions about Trivia, what it does, and everything. So I'm going to break it down in this video. I'm going to tell you everything about Trivia that you need to know. So I suppose the first question is, what is Trivia? Well, the idea of Trivia is that it's a really powerful book test that you fit into your pocket. We made the decision to print the cards, and we'll talk about what the cards are and everything. We made the decision to print the cards onto the kind of the parlor-sized cards, the bigger cards that Alakazam print some of their tricks on. And the reason for that is there's a lot of information on there. We could have done it on smaller cards to have them fit in a wallet, but I wanted them slightly bigger. They still can fit in a wallet, absolutely fine, but in all honesty with you, I tend to put these in my top pocket. So when I'm out performing Trivia, which I do an awful lot, they just go into my top pocket. However, if you're the sort of person that wants to use them as an EDC, you can just put them into the wallet and they sit there, and that's absolutely not a problem. The other thing that you can do is you can put them into an envelope, and you can have the envelope somewhere like in a pocket or something. That's absolutely fine. The concept behind it is that it's movie trivia cards. Now, the reason I went for movie trivia cards is because everybody loves movies. It's an instant hook. When you start talking about movies, immediately everybody's interested. I don't think there's anybody on the planet that's never seen a movie. And when you talk about the greatest movies of all time, everybody has an opinion. So just by talking about, hey, I've got these movie trivia cards, immediately everybody kind of starts paying attention, right? Now, the other thing is, these are actually real movie trivia cards. I spent a long time writing these, and I spent a long time for two reasons. The first reason is, there's obviously 10 cards. It's based on 10 movies. So the first thing I did is I put 10 movies down that are iconic, that everybody would know, right? Because I want everyone to know what those films are. What I didn't want to do is pick a film that had just come out recently when we started filming the project, because people might not remember that film in 5-10 years' time. But the films that I picked, like, Ghostbusters, like Jurassic Park, like Star Wars, like Avengers, like The Karate Kid. These are all films that will always stand the test of time. People will always remember what those films were or are. Star Wars has been around for so many years and will continue to be around for so many years. So I spent a long time, first of all, picking the films. There was another reason that I picked the films that I did that's to do with method, so I won't go into that right now, but those were the films that I picked. Now, the other thing that I did is I spent a long time writing down the trivia on the cards, because there's 10 items of trivia on each card. So, and it is all real trivia. I did a lot of research to find out 10 interesting facts about each film, and that's what made up the points. While writing those 10 facts, I had to change various bits and pieces, and I had to do certain things in order to make the method work, which took even longer. But ultimately, that's the route that I went down. Now, what that gives us is 10 cards. There's 10 facts on each card. So, that's 100 facts. On each fact, there's around about 10 words, maybe 10 to 20 words. So that's something like 1,000 to 2,000 completely different words. And the whole idea of trivia is that you give the cards to somebody, you have them look through the cards, they have them look at a word, and then you can tell them what the word is, right? Now, I'm going to go a little bit more into the methodology. I'm going to go a little bit more into what you get. But before I do, I want you to see a full unedited performance of trivia. So this is taken at a wedding. It's very interesting, this footage. When we shot trivia, I did a studio performance at Alakazam, and that was fine. But I said to Pete, I said, you know, we didn't have time to go and get a live performance at somewhere like Houdin is. But I said to Pete, I said, look, I really want to try and get real footage if I can. And he was like, well, I'll tell you what, see what you can do and send it over to me. Excuse me. So I went to a wedding after speaking to Pete. I had a wedding booking the next day. And I just literally, the next day, I went and I took, who did I take? Matt. I took Matt with me. I took Matt, and I was like, look, Matt, I'm going to ask the client if I can take a photographer. Will you please come along with me and film this whole thing? And I just did trivia and got the live performance footage for it, because it's really important to me that there's live performance footage. So this is the footage of trivia. This is exactly what it is. This is a full and edited performance of a couple of, well, this is only one of the routines on trivia, but it'll give you an idea. It's kind of the main routine. So let's have a look at this, just so you've got a frame of reference to exactly what trivia is, and then I'll talk to you more about what it is that you get.
So there's two elements to this, and the first element is a prediction of something that's going to happen in the not too distant future. That's why I put a terribly drawn question mark on here. It means prediction. On the other side, I've written a word. I'm going to put this here, sir. I give this to you because
I know what you're hoping to say.
Out of everyone here, you look like the most trustworthy.
Definitely not.
So don't look at that. Keep it in your pocket. Don't look at it.
He's deaf.
Okay.
So when you talk to him, open your mouth.
You've got it. You'll love this song. Right. Here we go. Does anybody here like movies?
Yes. Oh, we all love it.
So I got these off the internet. This is like fun movie trivia cards. These are apparently the 10 best movies of all time.
Wow.
I'm willing to bet that you guys have seen most, if not all, of these. Toy Story, Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, The Avengers, Star Wars, Karate Kid, Ghostbusters. There's lots
I think
of
any of children's probably.
Yeah, they're kind of the best grossing films of all time. You haven't got anything really substantial in here, but it's the ones that make the most money. Now, can you read without? Well, you've got glasses on, so you'll be able to read these. Okay, yeah. What was your name? Jane. Jane, can you give your drink to someone you trust? There you go.
I was hoping to hold that.
You can hold on to the phone.
Sod off now.
Jane, here's what's going to happen.
He's scarred for life.
Dumped again.
Here's what's going to happen, Jane. So we've got all 10 of these cards. You're going to pick one at random. Now, I should point out, by the way, that each one of these cards works the same way. There's a film, and then there's 10 facts.
Yep.
And they're all facts about the film, and each fact has about 20 words on it. So there's about 20 words per fact. There's 10 facts per card. There's 10 cards. That's a lot of facts.
That's a lot of facts.
A lot of facts, a lot of words. You're going to think of a number from 1 to 10. Don't say it out loud. Don't tell me. In a second, I'm going to turn around. When I turn around, Jane, whatever number you're thinking of, you're going to count that many cards one at a time to the bottom. So in other words, if you were thinking of 3, you'd go 1, 2, 3, and then you would look at the bottom card.
Okay.
In this case, Toy Story.
Yeah.
You get the idea?
Got it.
So that way you're going to end up on a completely random card.
All right.
So when you're looking at that bottom card, I want you to tell me, okay? So if it was 2, you go 1, 2, and then look at the bottom card.
Yeah.
Okay? So you do that. I will look this way. I'm not cheating. You can keep me honest and make sure I'm not looking. When you're looking at the bottom card, tell me.
Camera's looking.
Are you looking at the bottom card?
Yes.
In fact, to focus, you give me all the other cards back. Just hold on to that bottom
Hold
one.
on to my card.
Yeah, and give me all the other ones back. Okay. So, the film on that card, do you recognise it? Have you seen
Yes.
it? Okay, good. Right. There's the number you're thinking of. Are you happy with that number?
Yes.
Good.
You mean the number that I chose the card?
Yeah, the number that you
Yes.
just chose. Yeah. We're gonna carry on using that number then.
Yeah.
And I want you to go to that fact if you can, please. That would be good.
Yep.
And you're looking at a particular fact now.
Yeah.
Read that fact and pick a big long word on that fact.
Read it out loud.
No, just keep it to yourself. Pick a big long word.
A
Like
big,
more
long
than
word
more than
that's
6
in
or 7.
there?
Yeah, that's on that particular fact.
Okay.
So have you done that?
Yep.
Hold them in between your hands so I can't see.
Yep.
Right. Concentrate. Here we go. The mind,
You're a freak if you get this.
the mind reading begins. First of all, I'm going to go easy. I'm going to try and go for the film. Concentrate on the film. Imagine you're in the cinema. The cinema screen's in front of you. You're watching the film. Okay, this is a film that you have seen. There's more than one of them. You've not seen all of them though, have you? But you're thinking of the first one. It's the first one that you've seen. That's the one you're thinking of. You're thinking of Indiana Jones. What do we think? That's not too bad, right?
That's not too
but I
bad.
know what you're thinking. The reason you didn't go crazy, like it's typical American audience, which we're not, the reason you didn't go crazy is because you're waiting for the word. You want me to tell you the word, right? Because think about it. There's like about 2,000 or 3,000 words. You could have picked any card. If you picked a different number, you would have ended up with a different card. Then you could, if you picked a different fact,
I'm
you would
gonna
have
like
ended
pee myself if you get this right. Honestly.
Right. Imagine the word on the screen in front of you. On the cinema screen, the word
I
is
know,
written
I
in
got
neon.
it.
What colour is the neon in your imagination?
Yellow.
Okay, that's interesting. Right, I can do this. The first letter's shining brighter than all the other letters, isn't it? Yeah? In your imagination, imagine that first letter. It's an F. Let's even go one step further. Pick a letter in the middle of the word. Right in the middle. Oh, it's interesting. No. You went back and forth between like an L and an O, didn't you? Between an L and an O? You went on the L. Did you settle on the L? Or was it the O? It was the L, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. Let's do this. Think of the last letter. It's a G.
Are you like kind of psychic?
If I get this, they're going to go crazy.
You are
ready?
freaking a psychic.
She could have thought of anything. But she thought the word following.
Get a piece though.
I'm peeing myself. How do
I'm
you
gonna
do
upskirt
that?
it.
Well, I read your mind. Which is
do you
different
do
to
that?
making a prediction. Very quickly, just one last thing. You know that number you're thinking of? I still don't know what the number is.
No.
Look at the card again. This time, use that number to go to a different line. Count from the bottom up. So if you're thinking of 2, you go to fact 9. If you go to 1, you go to fact 10.
Yeah, I've got like, I'm freaking out.
You got it?
Yeah?
Read that fact, pick another big word, and say it out loud for everybody to hear.
Say the word out
Yeah, go
loud.
for it.
Even for you? Incredible.
Incredible. Could have been any word. You picked any number. You had a free choice. You said a different number, it would have been a different card. You said incredible.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first thing I did when I came over? The first thing I did before we did this?
Put something in. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
What was the word again?
Oh my god. That is
You're in it
That's
together.
amazing.
You met up about half an hour ago. Plan that. You must have done.
Bloody
You are a freak.
brilliant.
Yeah, it's been
You are a
said.
freak.
It has been said.
What is that? I have goosebumps. Like totally. What the hell?
No idea. It's never worked before, so we don't
Shut up.
So that right there is trivia. That's exactly what it is. That's the main routine. Now, for people that have been fans of my work for a long time, you'll recognize this as love cards. Now, love cards is a trick that I put out about 15 years ago. And it was the idea of taking wallet cards, which are wallet poetry cards. Back when I created love cards, they were very much a thing. These days, you hardly see them. But it's like little credit card size things with poetry on them. And the whole idea is that you put... I created love cards before EDC was even a thing. It was designed to be a book test in your wallet, right? So the idea is that you bought these 10 wallet cards out with poetry on. You show them, and you have them pick one of them. You have them pick a... There were 10 lines on each card. So you had 10 cards, you had 10 lines on each card, and you had them go down to a particular line, look at a word, and so on and so forth. There were 2 issues with love cards. The first issue is, because of how they were written, the lines weren't numbered. They couldn't be, because it wasn't like they were individual facts. The lines weren't numbered, so that you couldn't, in essence, do that. It would be absolutely impossible. So, and because they were on wallet-sized cards, the text was quite small and put together, so sometimes people had trouble reading them. And so sometimes people would miss the line, they'd count and they'd go to the wrong line, which wouldn't be good. And that was the main problem. That and the fact that, you know, who carries 10 wallet cards around with them? I justified it by saying my wife loves these things, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But I wanted to revisit that because the method behind it is very clever. And I expanded on the method with trivia, but that's where the original concept came from. When I was talking to Pete, we both brought up love cards. And I said, it'd be great if we could update this, but I don't think we do the love cards concept. I think it could be, I pointed out what I thought were the issues, and I was like, there's a way to fix this. And I went away and I came back and I went, I've got it, movie trivia cards. Because if they're movie trivia cards, you can make them bigger, which means that they play to a bigger audience anyway. But then also each individual point can be numbered, which makes it almost immediate. There's no way they can make a mistake because, if you tell them to go to line 4, boom, or you don't tell them to go to a line. If you tell them to go to fact number 4, boom, they're right there. It's numbered. It's so easy. So it immediately took away all of the issues by making the cards bigger, making them more relevant, turning them into movie trivia cards. It solved all of the problems I had with the original love cards. In terms of the method, the thing with trivia is that there were certain elements that I wanted to hit when I was creating it. There were certain things that I was not prepared to sacrifice at all. And I've managed to put this whole thing together without sacrificing any of that. So there's no memory work at all. It's completely cued for you, which is great. It's a different word every single time. So when they think of that word, it's a different word every single time. Also, there's no fishing at all. They can literally think of any word. And you don't have, as soon as you know the word that they're going to think of before they think of it. If you go back and look at the performance, you show them the cards, they look at the cards, they genuinely have a free choice of number. There is no force at all. So they can go to any numbered card, they look at the card, they then go to the line, but literally the second that before they even get to that line, you know the word they're going to be thinking of straight away without memory work, which is great. So no memory work, no fishing, different word every single time, which is great. Because I've had people say to me, were you fishing because you asked them to think of the first letter, you then asked them to think of the last letter? No, that's not fishing, that's presentation. That's just how I present the trick. If I wanted to, I could go, boom, you're thinking of following immediately. That wouldn't be an issue at all. And I love the second phase in that performance that you saw. I love the second phase because the two phases just strengthen each other. So you've got the first phase, which is really cool, where you reveal the freely chosen number. And then you've got the second phase, where you've predicted the word that people are going to be choosing the second time round, which is even cleaner. Now, when they look through these cards, the word that they've thought of will not appear on any other card. It literally only appears on the card that they thought of once, one time only. There's a couple of repeats with the second word, but only a couple. Like, I think very, 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 very few, and never on at the same card. So when they're looking at a card, that second word they think of, it's always going to be incredible. And incredible appears once on each card. So it appears 10 times in total. So the first word they think of only appears on that one card. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible with you guys here. So the first word they think of only appears once on the whole collection of cards. So they can go through with a fine-tooth comb. They're never going to find that word again. And all of the cards are normal because they're all written to be movie trivia cards. They're never going to see the secret. The second word, it appears once on each card. But that's absolutely fine because the word is incredible. And when you're thinking of a movie trivia card and you're talking about incredible box office, incredible reception, the word incredible, it lends itself to be used in the context of a card like this. So again, it's totally not an issue. So everything is completely examinable before, during, and after. It's also an instant reset. So as soon as you take the cards back, you just put them away and you reset ready for the next table. It plays, as you saw in that performance, it's a great trick for walk around because you don't need to put it down on a table or anything at all. It's a great trick for walk around, but it's also a fantastic trick for big tables. It's a great trick for parlor. You can even do this on stage if you want to, absolutely fine. In fact, talking about that, one of the great things about the tutorial, in my opinion, is that I do this tutorial with Peter Nardi, who is, in my opinion, one of the best mentalists in the world. And what Peter does is him and Peter and I sit down and discuss a whole bunch of other ideas using the trivia cards, because Pete's got some amazing ways of using them. So there's about 4 or 5 routines that Pete shares, and then another 2 or 3 routines that I share, which allow you to expand on this concept. So you can literally create like a 15-minute act with just these cards in your pocket. And you can start with this and then go into this and then go into this. My favorite follow-up routine with trivia, by the way, that you didn't see in the performance, involves an 11th card that you get. Now, the 11th card is basically, it says on it, the top 10. And when they look at the card, it's all 10 of the films in order of the 10 most popular films. Because how I present this, I say, hey, these are movie trivia cards. And this card here, this is actually the 10 most popular films of all time as voted for by fans. That's kind of interesting. We don't need that, though. And I put it to one side. I then do the routine that you just saw in the performance. Great reaction, boom. And I say, let me see if we can go one step further. And I have them mix up the cards. So I take the cards back and I mix them up. They then mix them up, right? And the mixing procedure is so super fair. So they mix the cards up, I mix the cards up. And then once they're mixed up and they're convinced that it can't be in any possible order, I'm talking about influence all the way through. And I call back to that 11th card. And I say, do you remember the card we put over there with the top 10? These are the 10 most popular films of all time. Well, you've just shuffled these cards into a completely random order, haven't you? Let's have a look. What's the first card? What's the most popular film? Blah, blah. What's the second? Blah, blah. And you've got this really nice moment of doing this and having it so that each card they've shuffled into the order that's on the card that was at the very beginning. So it brings the thing full circle, which is really, really nice. Some of the other stuff that Pete's doing on the project is great. He's got like mentalism applications for it that are just crazy. There's stuff you can do with a one ahead principle, which is really, really good as well. All of these bonus ideas are wonderful. I'll be honest with you, when I do trivia, and I do it an awful lot, I do it mainly in one of two ways. Just how you saw in the performance, or if I've got more time with people, because obviously that was a walk around gig I was performing at. If I've got more time with people, I'll go into the second phase that I just described to you. Sometimes I'll just do the second phase and I won't even do the first phase, because the second phase very much feels a little bit like The Moment by Andy Nyman, which is an incredible trick. And the fact that you can do that with the trivia cards are amazing. But that's pretty much everything. I mean, what you have here ultimately is you have something that's very, very thin, that literally fits into a pocket, that allows you to do a book test style word reveal without any fishing, without any memorization. And it's a different word every single time. It gives you options into other things that you could do as well. So you can create a longer act around it if you want to. And as I say, it's very, very organic. We spent a long time working on the artwork for the cards and they look great. Big shout out to Abe Gower, who put the artwork together from Monster Creations. He's put together some great artwork that really does make it look like these are what they're meant to be, movie trivia cards. Because as long as people buy into the fact that these are what they appear to be, then this is an absolute miracle. And like I said at the beginning, the way I present it is, hey, there's 10 cards, there's 10 facts on each card. That's 100 facts. There's between 10 to 20 words on each fact. That's 1,000 to 2,000 words on these cards. Have a look at them. You can see they're all different. You can see that each one of them is completely different. We're going to try and do something. And it's a way of doing a book test with a very small packet of cards that looks really organic, that really, really gets a great reaction. The cards are really well made. They'll last a long time. And there's really nothing else to say. I'm very, very proud of trivia. We took I don't want to say it's an outdated concept, because it's not. The original Love Cards was very well received. And I've had people over the last couple of years saying, hey, can I get Love Cards? Have you still got Love Cards? It was a great idea that was slightly flawed with the end product, only insofar as the cards that we used were thin and plastic and hard to read. But by taking that concept, expanding on it, and we've taken it from here to here, and then making them bigger and making them bolder and giving them a better context, which is, you know, movies. This is something that I perform all of the time. Like all of the time. You'll always see me with the trivia in my pocket because it's something that's very, very easy to carry around, doesn't take up much space, and you can do like, if you want to, you can do like a 25-minute mentalism act just with 11 cards in your pocket. And how many times can you do a mentalism act like that with just 11 cards in your pocket? It doesn't happen very often, right? So obviously, I'm going to be biased. This is my own project. It's impossible for me not to be biased, but I wouldn't have released it if I didn't believe in it. And once again, I've tried to deliver for everybody when it comes to a tutorial. There's a live performance. You can see me and Pete break everything down. I think it's probably about an hour of explanation, going through different ideas and different concepts, because I wanted to try and give you guys ideas that you can, because I genuinely believe that when people see trivia, they're going to take it to the next level themselves. There's going to be somebody out there that's going to expand on this way further than I could. And I cannot wait for people to see other routines and other ideas that come out of this, because there are going to be, I know there are, and it's going to be amazing. So I'm biased. I know I'm biased. Please take this with a pinch of salt, but I'm going to give this 120%. Purely because that's the grade that Ryland always gives Alakazam, and this is an Alakazam product. But also I believe in this. I really do believe in this. This is something that, you know, I'm going out and doing a gig tonight, and this will be in my pocket. I'm going out and doing a gig tomorrow. This is going to be in my pocket. I've got multiple gigs over the weekend. This will be in my pocket. This is always in my pocket, and it's always ready to go, and it's a powerhouse of a routine. So it's 120%, and I recommend buying trivia. So there you go, guys. That's another review show special in the bag. Once again, thank you so much for joining me right here on Magic TV. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have you seen me perform trivia? What do you think? Have you got one yet? What do you think? I'd love to know. Inquiring minds want to know. And don't forget, you want to see more videos like this? It's super simple. All you have to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. And if you haven't already done so, please go check out the NETRIX. It's www.thenetrix.com. And you can get access immediately to all of the fantastic material. In fact, I'm going to give you a sneak peek. Tomorrow, we've got upload day, and we're going to have a Wayne Goodman special. Wayne Goodman is joining the NETRIX. I couldn't be more excited about that. And Wayne is going to be talking, he's going to be sharing some tricks. Absolutely, of course he is. But he's going to be really expanding the theory section of our of the NETRIX platform, because we want to focus more on theory. One thing we've had feedback is they want to see more theory, they want to see more advice. Well, Wayne has literally written the book when it comes to advice on performing, and we're going to be uploading a ton of theory. We've shot like 40 or 50 courses with him over the last few days, and we're going to have a massive upload tomorrow of a whole bunch of stuff, and then dripping more out over the coming weeks and months. But the advice that he's got for performers for every single context is just golden. Can't wait for you guys to see all of this. So that's going on to the NETRIX tomorrow. Get excited. I've seen a lot of this advice, and it's brilliant. It's literally the advice that he's used to write all of his best-selling books. So that's exciting. Thanks once again for joining me on Magic TV. I'll see you soon. As normal, my name's Craig from Magic TV.